So,
we didn't watch. Neither of us actually watched the event, but we did go back.
Not
through.
live. No.
Not live.
But
No.
Strongest Man on Earth. This used to be the Shaw Classic. So, but somehow, I don't even know how it happened, but Brian somehow got that name, which was tied up in something. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something on that later.
I think it's more, it's just
Strongest Man on Earth was like somebody owned that, and then I think somehow, then Brian got a hold of it somehow.
That makes sense.
So now he can declare through the Shaw Classic, you are declaring who the strongest man on Earth. So
but this rules. The Strongest Man on Earth event rules. I mean, I think that's the coolest name for it. It's also, and I think it will forever be, it's the heaviest event of the year.
Yeah, and
weight-wise for all of the implements.
Well, and like, just like some of the other, just like the Arnold Classic and some of Magnuson has his own thing. Like, I think this is what strongmen should do.
Yeah.
And have, because you're just increasing the amount of events that they're well funded, they're well organized, they're organized by people who know what they're doing.
Right.
Like it's not like,
I mean, like Jerry Pritchett and like Nick Best and all these people are like working directly with you at this event. Like they're helping you literally.
Like, and they're and like Brian and Nick Best can like design an implement and then use it. Now there was obviously some debate about
if you need to do all that craziness or not.
But so I thought it was a great event. I watched all as much of the afterwards as I possibly could. I thought it was fun to watch, and there's always going to be some level of contention about different things, namely apparently squats.
I think also it's like, from the sounds of it, because like there were some people who were like at the event and stuff were talking on Reddit and just talking about just how the event was in general, and some people were just saying it was a little long, and I fully understand that. One, it's a 2-day event, right? And so there's also 8 total events, which is, I mean, that's good. What is WS?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of events.
Yeah.
And it's also, like I said earlier, the heaviest event weight-wise. Like for any of the implements, they're all heavier than any single other competition throughout the year, but justly so. I mean, the title is called the Strongest Man on Earth. I think Brian's really trying to establish this thing, and I certainly think that. I think World's Strongest Man will always be the number one to certain people because it's been around for absolutely the longest. It's what started. It started out as a TV show competition, and then it became what it is now in an actual sport and stuff like that.
It's kind of its own. It's not its own, but it's a thing.
It is.
People regard it with more. Esteem's not the right word, but I mean they regard it higher than.
And they hold it in higher regard.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
they do. And I think they should. I think we should.
I think the legacy of and Strongest Man on Earth 15 years from now, I mean, the legacy will be insane, I imagine. I think it'll be without a doubt one of the it already is. It's like there's like we have the Rogue Invitational, we have Arnold's, and then we have this, and then we have WSM.
Worlds.
Yeah, and so I think people
there's the classic, there's all the the Giant Slab events too.
Right. But I think those people they think of those 4 specifically as like the events of the year, like the biggest events. Like they hold those in higher. I think the strongman hold them in higher regards. Maybe some of the Europeans hold Europe's in a higher regard. But I think this is just a huge event, and Brian's that's all he wants to do. And I think we're still early in it, so some people said it was a little long. It'll get more streamlined as anything does. I think it's just
and it's like you get. 8 events. 8 events is a lot.
It is a lot of events.
But like you also have like it's sort of like you've been saving up, and like you got it's not like football where you watch a game a week, right? Like it's like we get to watch a competition every couple months sometimes.
Yeah.
Or every month or month and a half or whatever.
It's been pretty regular this year, right?
And if you bounce between all these different, if you bounce between Giants Live and Rogue and Arnold's and World's Strongest Man, and then you can kind of cover some space and have relatively consistent stuff to watch. But we're still talking about like an event, compared to like weekly games or multiple games a week or something. So
that is true.
Okay, it's long, but whatever.
I mean, that's what you're there for, right? Don't you want to see all that you can? Because they also have the amateur stuff going on as
Right.
well. So it's like there's just so much going on at the Shot Classic.
Yeah, Eric Roussin was there too.
Yeah,
doing
for his
some
grip challenge.
grip stuff. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's like, it's nice that it's being inclusive.
I
Go
agree.
way back when Brian Shaw was still doing content or did content with Juji Mufu, and that was during the Juji Mufu, and the He Who Shall Not Be Named was still there.
Yeah.
He talked about how like it doesn't like anything that's good for strength sports is good for all of the strength sports.
Yeah.
So I think events like this are great. Half Thor is back.
Yeah. The mountain is back.
So Mitchell Hooper still cannot be dethroned. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel, but I don't dislike Mitchell Hooper.
No.
And I don't want to get canceled for saying that, but I just don't. I legitimately don't have a problem with Mitchell Hooper.
And we already discussed, at nauseum why
That's
people
true, yeah.
dislike him or not. But
We don't have to go back there.
But I think at this point it's like, okay, so one, I am also sick of the, and it's not even his controversy necessarily, but there's always controversy about every event or every comp that he wins, and you're just like, and I don't know if that's just because Mitchell Hooper's in it. People dislike him and want to make a thing of it, or if he's just really trying to like do. He talks about specifically about asking 1 billion questions pre-comp to the people who are running the thing. Because he wants the details,
Right.
And and it's like, so does he maybe work within the confines of what he can do, and maybe he'll do something easier because he knows exactly what needs to be done? Does that happen?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Probably, maybe.
Sure.
But I think at this point it's like every other person knows going into a comp that Mitchell Hooper he's just head and arms above everybody else right now, like mentally and prepared wise. Everybody else needs to just step the hell up, because it's getting to a point where it's like, okay, well, Mitch is running away with everything now, and
Yeah.
and
I mean, he's
and
kind
I
of
think
he's kind of like a min-maxing thing. I mean, he like part of strongman is that these events are like, it's not the USAPL. Like, it's not the same 3 lifts every time.
Right.
And part of like when we talked about the first ever event, part of strongman is the novelty of the event,
Yes.
right? Because if we had strongman competitions where it was the same thing every time, like we did like the same medley, we did a car lift, or we did some sort of wheel, and then we did I don't know, like Atlas stones to end everything, and we did the same 5 events every time.
Yeah.
Like, that would get old.
Right. Well, that's what, and we didn't really bring it up that much in that episode, but yeah, like the competition it was a TV show. Like, they made it that way because it was a TV show. So like the concept of the novelty is exactly what's going to get it on TV. And so it's like, and that's what it should, for us to, then it becomes a powerlifting competition if we're just doing the same stuff.
Right. And I don't think anybody, I mean, if you want to do that, get into powerlifting.
Yeah. There's plenty of that. There's plenty of it.
Yeah, and there's like part of strongman is that novelty, and so I don't have a problem with it if you're doing it better. I mean, I'm not gonna. This is maybe gonna whatever controversy is good.
Yeah.
Maybe a 2017 Hathor Bjornsson, had he asked more questions prior to that event,
Right.
That might not have happened.
There'd be less controversy. I mean, that's the weird thing too, is that like, if you ask more questions, theoretically there should be less controversy. But now, like, Mitch is asking maybe to other people too many questions, and now there is controversy still, and you're just like, well, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if you're just butthurt because Mitch is winning every goddamn comp.
I mean, we talked about that before. I mean, that's absolutely part of it. Is just he came out of nowhere and he's destroying everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody's pissed off about it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
whatever.
And from the sounds of it, the strongmen don't seem to care. And that's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah, well, they're because no matter what, if they're able to take a step back and look at this from a perspective, like a larger perspective, it's just more.
Yeah, it's more
attention.
Eyes. More
it's
eyes.
more eyes, and it's better. So
I think evidently from this, we'll go through it a little bit here too, but it's just like everybody else needs to look at what they're doing. The top 5, for example, somebody like Tom, somebody like Halfdor if he's back like this, somebody like Lucas Hatton, who obviously just is newer to me, and I'm sure
Days of Beast.
Like these, like if you're in the top 5, if you're in the top echelon, I don't care if you're 2, 3, 4, only because of the fact that the calculation aspect of Mitch is just way above everybody else. You guys need to reassess what's going on and why is Mitch beating everybody at everything.
Well, and I mean, I think like Brian does this and did the same thing. Like when Brian was competing, he was notorious for being incredibly analytical about how to do these things. Or analytical about training and about figuring out how to do events, and he did them very well. And I don't know if because he had kind of a legacy, and when he was winning, people were just like, oh, well, you know, he worked his way up and he did the thing. And now this is different because, well, Mitch kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I don't know if that's with this big wall, but like Brian was min-maxing stuff long before Mitchell was, and nobody seemed to have a problem when he was winning 4. I mean, like
all the time.
Like, so I don't know. I'm not gonna like hate on Mitchell Hooper. I think he's doing what he needs to do, and I think that, like I think you're saying, I think it's up to everybody else to figure their shit out.
Yeah, it's like there's. I mean, like you can be upset at Mitch winning every comp, and it's like you're like, okay, well, these other guys need to like do the thing. You can't just wait for Mitch to rip his hands, and then win a title. And it's like,
too soon. Okay.
I will defend Tom Stoltman until I love Tom Stoltman. He's my favorite strongman. It's just how can you not like the guy with his story and everything and the absolute just genetic freak that the man is in general of a human being. But it's like something, I don't know. We just need to make broader strokes and especially since there's in something like this, there's just so many events. There's so many things that you need to be good at. And I certainly, it's got to be as a giant human being, if you're one of the giant men in strongman, that's going to be tough for you to do, like to do some of these things that are getting more, CrossFit-esque, like all these medleys and things like that. It's like,
well, and the weight's coming with them too. I mean, the overall expectation is higher. I think it's worth noting that like Mitchell and Half Thor. I wonder if people call him Half for short. Probably not.
We do.
Thor for short.
Yeah, I definitely call him Thor.
Mitchell and Thor. Mitch won with 117 points. Half Thor won with 100, or came in second with 108, and then Lucas Hatton, who took third, was at 83. So like, there's a noticeable jump between the peloton of Mitch and Thor, and then the rest of everybody else.
It always is. It's always this. If it's not Thor, it's Tom. If it's Evan has a great comp, and it'll be Evan up, and it's just like
I'm just saying it's not like there was somebody else up there with him. And I'm glad Half Thor's back because I think he's going to push Mitchell more.
Of course. Of course. And Lucas Hatton, I mean, new to, these major comps like this, but I mean, he's the only person, he won the dumbbell medley. And he was the only person who put up, what was like 300 pounds or something like that? How much did
Wait, what do you mean?
The dumbbell medley... Lucas Hatton, there was like 5 or 6 dumbbell medley.
Yeah, he did all 5.
He did all 5.
78 seconds.
Within 90 seconds, which is just...
It was, So
he's the only person who did 5, period, also.
Heaviest was 120 kg.
Yeah,
I mean, like, but it shows how, like, if you destroy an event and then you do okay in everything else, you'd be right. I mean, he's blowing up, too. He's also... I always like shorter strongmen because they make me feel like there's a chance. But yeah, no, I mean it was good to watch. Yeah, I think people thought it was long, but whatever.
Yeah,
I thought while there were a lot of events, it was fun to see some of these events. We haven't seen Fingal's Fingers in a long time.
I know. I love Fingal's Fingers.
That's sort of a classic. I know that Mitch in the gym that he trains in like got the gym to install sort of a Fingal's Finger-esque training implement. That he can use. I was happy to see Evan Singleton back after sort of the Strongman Classic one event and then nothing.
Yeah. I mean, the whole lineup for the whole comp was... I mean, it was everybody you wanted to see. I mean,
and I think that'll happen, I think that'll move into the future too, because Brian has really good relationships with lots of these guys.
Yeah.
He's like an amazing at staying relatively neutral on a lot of this stuff. So
he very is.
I think he should be a politician.
He should. He's a great middleman. Actually, nobody should be a politician, but that's a different podcast.
That's true.
That is different. But no, like this is that whole thing. It's like you said, the drop off is quite significant. Lucas Hatton was on the podium with them. He was absolutely there. But I mean, the drop off is significant, and we just like you said, or like I said, Lucas won one event and then just like didn't middle necessarily, but for word's sake, for just the sake of it, middled for the rest of the events, and he still got third place. It's
Well, and that's the way. I mean, that's the way that it's scored.
yeah.
The better. The way that it's scored, it benefits people who are sort of diversified.
Right. And that's
that's good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People need to broaden their strokes. Like Mitch is top 3 in every single event. Every single event. And he's obviously doing all of the different things.
Right. So I mean it's a good point. I mean it's a testament to his he's a Leatherman.
Yeah, I mean it's insane.
A multi-tool of muscle.
The Swiss Army capabilities of this guy.
I
don't talk about Leathermans. All right, I'm a Swiss Army guy.
That's fine. But that is 100% a Neil pickup line. Like
Is it?
it isn't, but he should say
is a Leatherman.
multi-tool of muscle.
Yeah. The absolute
Muscle. Yeah.
the leather
They
moose.
should have us announce that stuff.
That would be fun. If everybody's getting bored of Neil.
No one's ever getting bored of Neil.
No,
He's
no.
Neil Pickup Man. And if you get bored, look what he's wearing. You'll either probably have a seizure or be blinded for a moment.
This is true.
Yeah. No, I thought it was nice to see everybody compete. This was it doesn't get much more stacked.
No, it
than these
doesn't.
16 guys.
The exciting matchup, obviously, for the day was Thor versus Mitch. It was because we hadn't seen Thor in such a long time. You're like, well, how is he going to stack up? Obviously, Thor is in Thor's gym every single day. Like, so it's not that he's not training, but you just never know.
I mean, we all remember when he did his little like retirement thing, and it was like, you're not retired. Like he tried powerlifting for a little bit, and it was like, wait a minute, no. And I think like this is where he should be. This is where he needs to be, and I think it's good that he's back.
He won max deadlift.
Yeah.
Do you think he was going to beat Mitch or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been. I mean, as much as people want to, debate Eddie and him all the time,
world
but
records.
it doesn't like. I understand having problems with him getting a record in his own gym. You still can't deny the fact that the guy lifted over that. I mean, like
Right.
he
did it.
right, exactly.
But it's not the official record, right?
And like that, I think they're two separate issues.
They
like
are.
you can't deny his ability to deadlift, and he did incredibly well.
Right. It wasn't strings on the bar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought I was kind of hoping Kordiakia was gonna because what we saw from the Strongman Classic was so like I was so excited, and I thought some of these things could benefit him. But I think it's like this is. I mean, he I think benefited in the Classic from the weights.
Yeah.
And maybe not so much in this one. Novikov, I'm still waiting for his rise to power, back to power.
Yeah, he's
Just really, I mean, somewhat a testament to just how hard it is to come back from a serious injury.
well, yeah, and he's just still. I mean, he's coming back from that, and at the same time, still putting himself in all these insane comps. Like
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean-
like the heaviest event of the year, and he's like, I don't care if I.
I mean, I don't know what's going through his mind. You got to stay relevant, but at the same time, not actually kill yourself.
Yeah, you're Alexei Novikov. You're absolutely going to be relevant. The one thing that
Austin Andrade, I'm so excited for this guy's career.
he's young, is he not?
Yeah, and he just, I mean, like, destroyed. I mean, doing incredibly well, World's Strongest Man. Evan Singleton ended up coming in 6th, but I still like Evan. I think
gotta
I don't
like
know
Evan.
I don't know what his I don't know what's going on there. And I'm not going to assume is not the right word. I'm not going to like try to guess. But I
There's
feel
no
like
way you can guess,
maybe
right?
there's something he needs to like a hurdle he needs to get over.
Yeah.
Cuz he just seems off a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
Which is weird because he came off some pretty big, came off a podium.
Right.
And then things have been kind of weird lately. I don't know. But
It's that guy might be
happens.
the hardest guy to read in the world.
Bobby Thompson, God, I love Bobby. His dude's insane.
Yeah, it was good to see Bobby at the event because I feel like I hadn't seen him in a couple comps.
I think if you look at, which we didn't do this side by side, but I think if you look at,
Me and him side by side.
yeah, you're bigger. You're more swole, dude.
I look bigger for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting I should have done this beforehand, but like it's interesting to look at these results compared to World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
Just because like
Because how many months has it been?
many.
Many.
I don't know.
Was it? God, I don't know
it was
any time.
May, right?
Was it May? Yeah. I can't keep
But
track of any
I
time.
just think it's interesting to see how this is all sort of fleshed out. Like a lot of the same names are in the top, but just seeing the way that things are going.
I know.
Yeah, I mean it's so.
Tom had some errors, like with some stuff that was going, like the Atlas Stone events that they did.
Yeah, that was weird.
He said
Though they're not. They didn't. They called them. What do they call them?
manhood stones.
Manhood
which is a very
stones.
strange thing to do, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
kind
very
of like that.
strange.
What's the Always Sunny thing with like the
Yeah.
the looking for.
Just looking for just dudes to. The dudes just to hang out, really, is that? But that,
Yeah.
the flyer
Like
that they have.
manhood stones.
That's what it feels like. It does feel like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he changed the name because they're bigger stones, because he has like the heaviest
Yeah.
stone ever.
I mean, sure. I'm sure he did. Well, and it seems to be the thing now because they're changing the names
are.
of all this kinds of stuff. I mean,
know.
like nickel stones are not Denny stones, and like
Who cares about those
whatever,
legacies?
but- yeah.
Huck them.
Well,
Huck them
and
in the
then
back of the truck.
The ones that I'm not super happy about are like the rain body fuel.
Yeah, I don't wanna win
like
the-
it is like rain
Right.
body fuel wheel.
The Monster
Also-
Energy stones.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
no.
Also, rain, and if you want to sponsor us, you can do that.
You want their sponsorship so bad.
I'm just saying, dude. Well, I'd put a fridge in the back here. I'd have it stocked. We'd drink one on the show. I think it'd be great.
We'd shotgun them.
And like it'd cost you no money, and you would get you would sell at least one more.
We have like 0.15
We have
dude who follow
0.15
us.
people listening.
Yeah,
so
dude.
that 0.15 person drinks like rain every. Okay.
They understand.
Yeah. No, it was weird to see him not destroy the stones. I think there's some. We don't have to get into the woods about
Yeah.
some discussions here, but yeah. I mean, it didn't work well.
No.
Hathor did. I mean, Hathor's been good at stones his entire career. He hasn't.
Right.
And so I wasn't surprised by that. Austin Andrade is a beast, but a lot of guys didn't lift anything. So it's
Right, because it was all about like the way you did it, right? And I think a lot of them tried to get up like a heavier stone than they thought they could. But once you skipped the stones that were earlier, you couldn't go back to them if you couldn't lift the other one.
well, that becomes not a game, but it becomes kind of a game.
Yeah, kind of a game.
I mean, it's kind of like at the Strongman Classic when Mitch skipped an overhead press. Like, okay, that's like
Yeah.
it's a valid decision to keep some strength in it.
Right.
It also means you don't have that.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't get it and you
Something crazy happens in the
fall
next
back,
event. Yeah.
there's nothing to fall back on.
I know. So it's always a risk, and that's kind of what happened here. Is like I think Tom went for the 249 kilogram one like right away, and then I think his tacky just wasn't like sticking, and so then he dropped it multiple times and then couldn't get it up in the 90 seconds, and all it takes is that. I
Right.
mean, then that no lift on one event, you're effed. You know, you're not going to make the top 3, arguably.
No,
And-
not unless the event was designed terribly.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so that's also that's that being versatile is so huge, especially if more comp's going to be like this with 8 events or
Yeah.
more events like this. You need to just be able to lift do whatever they ask at this point.
Right. Well, and that's like, I mean, we can dive into it a little bit. So the argument about the squat
Yeah.
was that the implement itself allowed for, correct me if I'm wrong
Yeah.
here, but like the implement allowed Mitch to have a okay lift, like a counted lift.
Yeah, his legs were at 90.
That was not that the judges should not have considered a full lift.
Yeah, but I guess it's tough to say. It was like something like, because they measured everybody's heights and stuff, so this implement would come down and like stop or whatever at like 90 degrees or something like that. So their legs for the squat would be at 90. And like just with the way Mitch squats, he like leans forward, but he was still at 90 or something, but people say he wasn't. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, I think like the only thing that makes sense to me, the only argument I think I think in strongman, you're given a lift, you're given an event, and you have to do your best at it.
Yeah.
And the guy that lifts lifts the weight the most times or the heaviest wins.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you take that away, you're removing like the entire novelty side of strongman, and I don't want to watch it anymore.
Right.
I do think that like we could lean on the relatively extensive group of learned strongmen and retired strongmen as judges.
I know.
In a situation like this, there's nothing wrong with just having this judged. Like there is nothing wrong
like you have
with having Magnus Ver Magnuson sit in a chair. Not to try to like rev anybody up about
No, but like
2017.
they have the one guy in the down chair to call the down calls.
Just
and
let him
that's
do it. I mean, have Bill Kazmaier sit there and
I
judge
thought
the,
like Jerry Pritchett like and Terry Hollins are there. Like I don't understand
these guys,
what's
all of these guys could judge these events.
Yeah.
And I think that like I think I understand the argument for trying to have a thing that's like defensible.
Yeah.
It's like, well, to try to remove the human error from it and be like, okay, well that. But like have 3 judges. Do what do what powerlifting does. Have 3 judges. Who cares? Like I think it's okay to have a human judging an event, especially something that's as like simple as a squat.
It was one of the simpler events.
Like
the implement was complex, but
right.
But it really for there to be that much controversy over that. There was also a thing where during one of the I believe the log medleys, a heavier log was put before a lighter log, and they had to and then they had to redo that, and there were some things that didn't go perfect or whatever. But it's like everything's not going to go necessarily perfect.
No, but speaking of log lifts,
you have to take a shit.
No.
Oh.
That would have been a fantastic
that would
segue.
be timing.
But no, the strongman the log lift challenge is coming up.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited about it. Iron BB better show up. That's all I got to say. I want to see those basketball delts.
Dude, if he doesn't show up, I'm not showing up to life the next day.
That's dark.
That is, I'm Iron BB.
That is not okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
that is.
May God give me delts like Iron BB if Iron BB doesn't show up.
But nothing else.
Yeah,
just like.
Just call me. Yes. Just call me delts. Delts Bibby.
Delts.
It's
Tony Delts.
Tony Delts.
What up? I'm Tony Delts.
But it's a strongman open and as well.
The
World Log Lift Challenge is going on. Okay.
So this is a Giants Live event. So if you're following with us on this journey, you can go to giantslive.com. You can stream the entire event. If you've ever watched one before, they're fantastic events. The streaming is great. UK knows how to do strongman.
They really do.
And I think we should make it a bucket list item for us to go to one of these events.
That would be incredible.
I think we should do that.
Yeah, let's go to the ones in Scotland.
I think we should do that.
Scotland.
We'll get it in the budget.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
Scotland.
Hey, once Rain Body Fuel comes in,
yes, dude. Really, the end. Speaking of our journey,
drink the can like this.
Yeah. The end goal is for Ben and I to get on gear. That's the end goal. Is for Ben and I to get yoked to death on gear.
Yep. It's gonna be like when Juji Mufu trained He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Yes. It's gonna be like
God, that was so.
We're gonna be like 3 weeks Sam Sulek. I'm looking like.
Oh, dude, I already am Sam Sulek. Dude, we could talk about Sam Sulek for 4 days. He is one of the most loved and hated individuals in the world of whatever. We don't have to get into it.
Yeah. It's different topic.
So
World Log Lift Challenge is gonna be
September 7th.
Yeah, it's going to be a good event.
It's essentially 2 events in one: the Strongman Open and the World Log Lift Challenge. I am pumped about both of them. The Strongman Open should be sweet. We're going to see, I think, again, more people that we've never seen before, and it's fantastic.
I know, because everybody this year, for like rookie-wise, is just really sticking around.
Yeah, and we'll move into some more hardcore, OSG coverage.
Yeah.
The closer we get to December.
Yes.
I've already started a spreadsheet.
Ooh.
So theoretically, Alexei Novikov, Iron BB, Evan Singleton, and Mitchell Hooper and Nathan Goltry are supposed to have been verified for the event. I want to see Iron BB with a log.
That's all I want to see.
I mean, I know obviously Mitch is going to come to play, but I think it'll be cool. We have the deadlift championships coming up after that, which people are pumped about.
That's going to be interesting.
I mean, there's no. I don't think in either of these cases there's any way world record isn't beat.
Yeah, no.
Which is, I mean, always fun to not fun to. Well, it is fun to watch.
It is fun to watch.
I think I don't know. Mitchell Hooper now has like every win you could want, essentially, including the highest paid win in strongman history, and like
those 4 we were talking about earlier, he's won them all.
And I mean, even though the other, it's not like, yes, there was the biggest purse, but it's not like the other ones were nothing.
No.
So and he's already got a world record under his belt when he at the Strongman Classic. If he gets another one, I don't know. We'll see. But Iron BB currently has the world record at 507 pounds, 230 kilograms. So we'll see what happens.
You know we're older than Iron BB.
Are we really?
He was born in 4/20 of 92.
Oh, wow.
That's
all right. Well,
that's enough for today. That's
So on that note, I'm gonna go apply for AARP.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So Iron BB, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He's huge. Usually over the head anything. Iron BB's got it. He was supposed to compete in the Strongman Classic, which is the event that Mitchell Hooper got the world record in, but did not.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see him. Hopefully shows up.
He's back for vengeance.
It should be good. No matter what, you've got incredibly strong dudes lifting logs.
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be.
And that will be exciting.
That will be exciting. We're glad to be back. We're sorry this was a hazy episode, but it's been like 3 weeks of a lot of haziness in life. But there's a lot of good stuff coming up.
And the 0.15 people that listen to this probably know us, and they probably know that there's been some terrible things going on in our lives. But we're not going anywhere. We'll be back. There's a lot of good events coming up. And I think we should do some more fun episodes too.
Yeah, so maybe coming up here pretty soon. We're definitely gonna do an over the top watch along like very soon. Maybe next episode. Who knows? Yeah. Do you 0.5 people? You need to stick around and find out.
0.15.
Oh, I apologize.
All right. So as we always say,
this is the Strong Casuals.
Grab
a friend.
Keep your hands in your friends.
Keep hands inside.